the draft from Ravens is probably going to be a little bit more effective here in this game. But then again, it wouldn't be the first time we were wrong, to be absolutely fair. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's still challenging for Nexus Titans either way. Like, when you do get these big team fights out, like, you do have magical bursts with the Zeus to an extent. You can try to melt down, especially if you get, say, your Kaya timing, Phylactery Kaya online here for Desperate at a good point. But the potential to run down is still there, especially with something like the Monkey to scout the back line, the Lycan to just shapeshift and run down with no hard control. There's not going to be too many solutions from the side of Titans. Then when you start to connect your physical cores together with the Lycan and the Alk, like Acid Spray Plus, how it's a huge chunk of minus armor without even going for anything like the Desolator. You will just melt if you're caught in the middle of these team fights with the Acid Spray running. That you're not going to have a good time at all.
No, you certainly are not. Bit of a fight over the bounties, it seems. Jumping is there onto the Wind Ranger. Already finding himself in a bit of trouble here, Zor. Going to cop a blood grenade now as well. It's a lot of damage. In fact, they've got a stun coming up in one. So Lu should have the damage, and he does. I say Lu, it is Argus, Jonathan. It's just problem is my game's bugged out, so I've got the pub names going on here, which is very nice.
Very nice. Always good to see a little bit of an extra challenge. Tana getting challenged here as well.
Certainly is, John. He might just be dead. And he is. Argus is going to find a secondary kill here on the Alchemist. That's a perfect start for Argus. And if there's one person you don't want to feed a double kill over to, it's the Alchemist that's already going to pop off.
Yeah. It's a solid start already coming out here for the top lane for Ravens. Just going to have a pretty strong timing on the Alchemist now. I'm not sure what kind of contestion you really expect from a Wind Ranger and Techie's offlane as well. It's not the easiest time to just look for the rundown. Decrep here for Kara is going to feel really good as a value point if you do see the Wind Ranger starting to apply a little bit too much harass. You can kind of connect with the Acid Spray Unstable pretty nicely here. You've got the Nether Blast constantly harass out. It's not going to feel amazing for the Titans. I agree with you in the draft when it was going on. When you kind of mentioned the Wind Ranger potentially going offlane not being great, it's really not the best. Like, we tend to see Wind Ranger shine from mid and safe lane. The offlane position for this hero is subpar. I think it just doesn't have enough presence in the dual lane to really feel great. So we'll have to see. Perhaps Zor proves us wrong and he starts to pop off. For now, with a start, Argus has all the space in the world he needs.
That he certainly does. Already a brilliant start here for the Arc, 2-0-0. Not the kind of start you wanted to hand over as Nexus Titans, but that's exactly where they've ended up. As you look at that mid lane as well already, Desperate solo on HP on the Zeus, which is another bad kind of situation for Nexus Titans, because, you know, RL, he's in position to keep chasing the Zeus. He's on the wrong side of the mid-river right now, that Zeus. Whirling Death is up at the moment to boot. So if RL really wants to mess with Desperate, he could just kind of chase him down. I don't know where this guy's going. Like, where's Desperate meant to run now, John? He's got no Heavenly Jump. He's on the wrong side of the river. He needs to get to the other side to be safe. And there's a Whirling Death up. So chances are you might just die here.
Yeah, you should probably just die. The Zeus can, again, do some decent damage onto the Tim, but your attack range is within striking distance of Whirling Death, so it's never comfy for you to CS through the wave, try to get some right-click harass. It's very costly for you to spam Arc Lightning, or even Lightning Bolt down the line to try to zone out the Timbersaw. So RL does have a really good way of balancing this lane out. Already has a stick up as well, up against that spell spam, Desperate. I mean, you can get a stick against a Timb. It does fill up slower than it would when you're up against the Zeus. The spell spam for the Zeus a lot faster. So RL does have a lot more regen on hand to play with whenever Desperate does decide to go for these trades. And this is not a good tone, right? We talked about this mid. We looked at that player comparison. And Desperate, when he has a rough game, it feels like all of Nexus Titans has a rough game as a result. Because you won't have anyone that can get active. And I just don't see a Wind Ranger alone having enough damage by the mid game without a farmed up Zeus. You know, that phylactery, that Kaya build up on this hero just really important to help you start finding these pickoffs across the map. So we'll have to see if Desperate can kind of try to repair this lane. Once you have Heavenly Jump, it does get a little bit better, but not by much. And that cooldown is pretty massive. It saves you only once, but the moment you try to come back and then CS once more, a Timbersaw just runs you down.
Yeah, it's not going to be the easiest time here, I don't think, for our mid Zeus. And well, while we're at it, we still do have a pause. So that bottom lane, of course, you're going to have this Lycan and Monkey King against the Silencer and Naga Siren, which theoretically should be a pretty damn good game for this, a good laning stage for this Naga Siren. I would argue it should be a fairly free time, but that is purely based on the fact that he's got a position 5 Silencer who should be able to zone everyone out. See, double melee matchup against Silencer is not going to feel very, very nice. And Nature Lover, knowing that, he does go for the level 1 Glaives of Wisdom, so really wants to try and abuse the fact that he's a ranged support against 2 melees. Whether that's actually going to work out or not, I don't know. I think if you're Italian a gangster, you're just looking to farm right now. You don't care for any kill attempts. You know, you might see Wake Me Up just leaving the lane pretty early on, maybe rotating mid to try and help secure a kill onto the Zeus. And I think as long as the Italian gangster can move into the helm of the Dominator timing, you know, just go to the jungle, flash farm there. Map's 40% bigger after all. And then afterwards, you get the helm of the Overlord and off you go.
Yeah, you get your timings online. There's just nothing to deal with a creep army here from the side of Nexus Titans. Sure, you should have a pretty stable lane as well for Kiritsugu and Nature Lover. This shouldn't be too rough for Nagasaran to just find that CS up. But it does take a while anyway for Naga to be online. So even if you have that strong laning phase.
Well, I mean, I guess he probably wanted to just die there. I thought maybe it was a bit of an accident going for that final right click on the creep, but obviously already knew he was already dead, so just go for the reset. It doesn't really help, John, that in my Dota client, we do have Desperate with the name Garbage, which is hopefully something I'm not going to call in this game, because again, that's what it says in my game client. You know? Yeah. That's what he chose as a pub name. It's not my choice.
Yeah, that is his pub name right now, so I can see it. This little spectator lobby slot bug feeling pretty rough, but well, we'll see if that maintains. 0-3 start for Ravens, already looking pretty damn sharp. And not the best of times for the side of Nexus Titans. I mean, just those 2 kills alone on Argus, going out onto Argus already makes it feel pretty bad. Just the fact that this Alk will flash farm into the Radiance a lot faster. The Radiance burn, the mischance up against the Naga and the Wind Ranger are going to feel awful. You have a lot that's just lined up here for a strong start for Ravens that you don't really have any way of counteracting on the side of Nexus Titans. Like, yeah, again, you're going to farm well in Kiritsugu, sure, great, nice. But Naga's just going to need way more time in comparison to the Alchemist to get online. And it's just not going to be comfy.
No, it won't. Nature Lover, bottom lane, a bit of a surround here. He went too far forward trying to harass out the Lycan. Luckily for Nature Lover, they do miss the Primal Spring, so quite a bit of damage lacking there from the Monkey King. You see the slow not really kicking in either. So Nature Lover able to walk out successfully. Though as the Silencer, like, you've got Glaives of Wisdom, so sure you want to try and abuse them, but you've got to be careful about this Monkey King. Like, if he's just sitting in the tree line waiting for you to move up, it's not that hard for them to get through the HP pool of the Silencer.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long to rip that squishy hero apart. You do have the Mangoose to sustain this spam, though, from Nature Lover, so it shouldn't be too rough for him. Can't still manages to get the Lotus as well from the pool, so you're feeling pretty good here. Italiano is starting to comp it, but you know, he's got the Feral Impulse up. Once you get that to level 2, you're really not going to have any issues here as the Lycan. What we are seeing is a little bit more presence out from Desperate now. Starting to pull ahead in the CS and starting to apply that harass that the Zeus does need to pull off. And with the bottle, it's a little bit more sustainable. Rune control is going to be a big one here as well. If Ravens can somehow commit, take away the water rune, then that's where things can really go southbound for Desperate mid.
Speaking of southbound, Kara ends up taking down Thana, so Thana not feeling too... Oh, Zor sticking around a bit too long. He just saw his Pugna die Or rather, his techies die top lane. The dive is there. Zor gonna go for a wind run. He's gonna make it, and he's actually quite lucky Kara ran out of mana. Otherwise, there would have been another level 2 Nether Blast to finish off the kill. But again, Kara just no mana to speak of. Has to let the Wind Ranger go. Nexus Titans, luckily not losing a secondary hero, though. I hope I haven't jinxed the John, because top lane again, they're gonna make the jump in. Dana, this time, will go down a second time, in fact. And he just TP'd back to the lane. So it's a bit of a walk of shame situation here for poor old Dana.
Has to work his way back. Solo lane for Zor's not going to feel amazing. At the very least, they are getting that aggression down. But, so they punish Wake Me Up for jumping a little bit too forward.
Oh, nice juke from Zor. Nice juke through the tree line, forcing the stun into the arc. But sure, you find the Monkey King down a bot lane. At least the Lycan's still farming. In this top lane, Zor is finding really nothing at this stage, because it's just a constant chase from this Pugna. And this is another thing that annoys me about this hero, John. Why does it get 330 movement speed with that kind of range, that kind of damage, and Nether Blast is just so spammable on top of that?
Yeah, it's a lot. And a good Pugna can do a lot in that laning phase. And it's not smooth going for the side of the Titans. Like, if you had a way of just committing onto the Pugna and trading, like physically, then it actually isn't that bad. But you've got the core Wind Ranger, so it needs to farm up. Tane has been trying to right-click trade, but his Blightstone hasn't paid off. Just cops a little bit too much from Kara. And I don't know. I mean, a 1 to 5 start, again, a little bit rough. When you can land the sticky bombs, it does feel good. Pugna is not the most durable hero in the world, so you can kind of try to zone out that way, although.
Yeah, there may not be too much running this time. Stun does land. Meanwhile, mid lane, RRL does find the Zeus to boot, so both the top and mid lane just being a little bit disastrous here for Nexus Titans. RRL also able to walk away, just looking for a power rune. The Invis is going to be up top. He does have level 2 chains if he wants to chase for this. In fact, his supports aren't going to be there. Last word committed here from Nature Lover, but he's going to be in danger. And the mid lane gets a little bit worse now for Nexus Titans, as they will lose a support here. At least it is Takara, but a bit more XP to the Timbersaw just in case he needed it. It doesn't even seem like he wants the Invis rune. It doesn't have a bottle anyway, so it doesn't really need it.
No, just get it out in the supports, get another rotation up top. Pink's coming out there for waking up to make that move. You do have a Lycan at level 5, so you can leave Italiano alone to just play this farming game up against Kiritsugu. Again, you don't mind the Naga too much here, having a free lane, because it just takes time.
Oh, a nice body block from Wake Me Up. At least you won't get the follow-up stun you were looking for here from the Arc. The Shackle Shot will ensure that Argus does stun himself. But I do appreciate how active Wake Me Up starting to become here on the Monkey King. And they are just fully focused on this offlane. They are giving no space to Zor on this Wind Ranger. But even Nature Lover now here on the Silencer to try and give a bit of a tougher time towards this Arc. But Wake Me Up shows himself again. It's almost a level 5 Monkey King, John. He's actually out-leveling the Wind Ranger right now. Though he does get jumped. Thana will secure the kill here on the techies. But that is kind of going to show the state of the game. Like, he had more XP than Zor does.
Yeah, it's just been a rough time for Zor. Like, the lane's just not going great. They have to run tri-lane up against the aggression that Ravens was bringing out themselves. And Ravens now, that does, pull them back a bit. But now you can maybe just focus on farming up an Argus and try to apply some pressure down bot. We are seeing the TP out now from Wake Me Up down south as well. They could try to ensure the Naga doesn't have a free run. No point in the song, as you tend to see on the Nagas trying to farm up. So if Kiritsugu does step past his bounds here, could get punished.
Bottom lane, jump is there. Kara being caught. Jump in from Wake Me Up, though. He's going up against 3 targets here. Maybe a little bit too optimistic from Wake Me Up. But he has help incoming. Here comes the Lycan. Is it going to matter? Nature Lover, he's been left without a song, but he's still okay to TP out. Everyone gets out just fine. To be absolutely fair, John, that was 3v1. They had to song TP out. They didn't trust they could survive that.
Radiant structures
Yeah, I think that's a fair call. I mean, with the Lightning coming in, would have been really dicey to force that issue there. He has enough damage as a universal type with just the Dominator and 2 circlets up. And the fact the Dominator gives you stats as well and is pretty big thing for a hero like Lightning. They've got room to shove in mid, and that will not take too much time with Carr and the level 3 Nether Blast here as well. The defense is up at the very least.
And it is. They will try to hold on here. RRL copying a fair bit of damage, might actually go down. The blast off does connect and RRL is gone. Overextending a bit too much. They have plenty of magical damage for this Timbersaw. It's a pretty big pick off here for the side of Nexus Titans. Meanwhile, Nature Lover will get the last word off. He's going to be okay. No real follow-up here from Kara. Meanwhile, top lane chases on for Zor. Balance Strike is there after the Unstable Concoction, but they haven't got the damage output. So Zor is going to be just fine. 1k advantage still stands here for Ravens. Mind you, this whole time, this Naga Siren has been free farming, so she's doing quite well in terms of keeping up with the Alchemist so far, which is certainly a pretty damn good sign for Nexus Titans. But the bad thing is, she's really the only one having a decent time, and it is a Naga, so, you know, all this farm that she's getting isn't going to amount to much up until you hit that mid to late game. Zor, top lane, going to go down. Of course, we saw Nature Lover in the mid lane drop. Now even Thaina's being chased on the techies, just for good measure.
Ooh, and lots of bounties, though.
Beautiful.
That's a little steal for Thaina. Taking that away from Alk always feels good, but now he's in the middle of nowhere.
Perfect Primal Spring it. He's going to try and at least make life a little bit more challenging for Ravens. Just give him a bit of a chase, maybe a deny attempt, but no. Kara's got the decrep. No real chance of getting the deny off. And we sit at 4-11 now. Ravens in the lead by 2k net worth. Again, the one saving grace. Oh boy, hold on a minute. Mid lane. Desperate. Was jumped by RRL. Does get quite a bit of damage off onto the Timber, but well, you're seeing the Pugna just move in for a nice, easy life train to ensure RRL is looking healthy.
Yeah, just keeping him topped up. RRL switching out from the Kaya into the pipe, realizing that, yeah, the Zeus is going to be an issue if you don't get the pipe. Once that pipe is up, Timbersaw doesn't really have any concerns. And as the game scales on, that kind of just amplifies as well. You get a magic resist talent at level 20 for some reason on the Timbersaw, 20% magic res. Then you get neutrals with a lot of magic res now as well, so it's not going to be a standing issue for too long. Smoke out from Nexus Titans. Does look like they want to apply pressure down bot here.
Well, Talon a gangster. Like he's been having a pretty damn good game on the Lycan. Completely surrounded, still gets the wolf form off in time, but with the ensnare out, surely they secure the kill. It does cost them quite a bit in terms of the spell usage. And look at this shot. They've almost got the Zeus down. Kara, he's forced to decrepify a TP away, but the cancel is there. So he will drop. A nice couple of pickups here from Nexus Titans. Top lane though, guess what? Zor's being picked off again. A huge stun out, so the wind run not really going to do too much. I say it doesn't do too much, it does delay a lot of damage to come in. And it seems like Zor is actually maybe just going to survive. The Wake Me Up keeps up the vision. Another wind run. I didn't realize he actually ended up maxing out wind run. He's got a level 3 E available, and sadly it may not matter. The chase is still going. Shackle out again. Wake Me Up, still chasing. However, now with the focus fire, the power shot, Wake Me Up should surely die, but he's still got the backup incoming here from Argus as they land another stun out. Zor's gonna die.
Oh, come on, you're dead already?
Oh, that's upsetting. And now Nature Lover. Run, sir. It's not safe. Big TP's incoming. That's a lot of damage coming in from the mines. RRL maybe getting a bit too excited. He is going to drop. I love that mine place from Thaina. He had it really on point.
Yeah. The triangular mine setup to entrap that Timbersaw. Lots of damage coming out there. Again, the magical output is still there to punish an overextension. The pipe does look to be finished here, so maybe not as much of an issue now for the Timb. But you do have to respect that. Still, you're not too upset for Nexus Titans. Even though you lose Zor again, yeah, you find RRL, you're getting some good punishment. You're having to drag your heroes all the way across the map to get that done. It is worthwhile. Wake Me Up looking for a steal opportunity up against 2. Could be a bit risky.
I mean, the likelihood is he probably will die for this. But we've seen multiple teams. Like, they're more than happy to sacrifice the support. And Thane's already prepped for it, just in case the jump is going to be there from Wake Me Up. And he actually decides not to go for it, but he maybe should have. Because now the jump is in. The life drain is out. Thana somehow is going to be the one to go down. They do lose Wake Me Up now. In the meantime, Nature Lover being controlled up will drop as well to Italiano Gangster. They've even got our Zeus to drop. Desperate will go down. 3 for the price of 1. And sure, you don't get the Wisdom Rune as Ravens, but who the hell cares? You got 3 heroes for your trouble. Plenty of XP through that kind of avenue as well.
Yeah, just to kill, it's more than enough. No one stole the Ravens Rune as well. Takara still gets to pick that up for himself. And for the side of Nexus Titans, it's really looking all in on the Naga. Just wanting to get a good game for Kiritsugu. Manta up, Orchid next.
Wake Me Up. Oh, your bottom lane, Wukong's command committed. He has not got Boundless, he's already committed that. Wake Me Up still going very far forward, trying to set up a kill here, but they've got to save him. They'll start up the illusions just to ensure that they do not lose that support Monkey King. Of course, Kara is going to be there with the life train to keep the MK alive. Top lane, however, looks like they are going to find Italiano Gangster. Here comes the RRL to try and find some trades for himself. There is a lot of magical damage here. He does have to be a little bit cautious. Does have to pipe up those, so feeling a little bit safer. We'll go back after Thana. That's 1 down. But now he's out of mana. That'll force him to back off. And still a decent win for Nexus Titans. Like, you got the liking for a techies. You'll be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, again, you're looking for any core pickoffs here for the side of Nexus Titans. Kill onto Lycan does allow them to bounce back just a little bit. Allow Zor to catch up. Try to get Desperate on the road to build up. Has that Phylactery Kaya we were talking about, going straight for the E-Blade. Should still have to be a little bit careful here.
Yeah, Desperate. They're going to try and save with the Global Silence. Desperate, though, he's already committed the Heavenly Jump, so he's not a very mobile Zeus at the moment. So he just tries to take Kara down before he goes down, but it is not going to pan out. Kara will survive. Meanwhile, RRL is just diving for even more now as Nature Lover gets caught and just gets destroyed by Italiano Gangster. Oh, they've even found a double damage rune for themselves. They do want it. And they've also scanned out the Naga. They know she's probably in the triangle somewhere, and the surround is incoming. There's the Chemical Rage being popped. She will run the right way, but Italiano Gangster is around the corner, but no, they miss out. Somehow, this Naga will survive for another day.
Kiritsugu gets to hold on. Orchid almost fully done, so the Naga's going to have a little bit of presence if she does decide to join in these fights. And that could be one way for the side of Titans to reel this one back in. Have that farm on Kiritsugu have some impact, start to join in. It's still a little bit risky for the Naga in terms of trying to join these fights, though. I still think this Alchemist is a massive issue with a Radiance up, and the Manta's not too far off. Smoke play out from both sides now.
We're going to run into each other to boot. Kara, he might be the one to get caught, but Wake Me Up breaks the whole smoke on the Radiant side as Kara still surely does drop, but he has the Glimmer Cape. Gonna buy him some time. Blast off, Shackle Shot, everything committed to ensure the man dies. And now Wake Me Up. Getting caught with his pants down, he'll try to go for a kill attempt on someone, but it's not gonna work. 2 supports dropping as they continue for the fight. RRL making the jump in, barely misses out on the Wind Ranger. Thana will go down, however. That's 1 support down, but it seems like they are forced to back off. Still a bit of a win for Nexus Titans.
Yeah, 1 for 2. You get some activity out from Kiritsugu, again showing off that Orchid and a pretty good usage of it to reveal. That's one way for them to set the tone here on Nexus Titans. Your impact on Naga is actually pretty decent with that Orchid up, and the side of Ravens a little bit disconnected. You know, the supports chased the courser too far. You didn't have Shapeshift up on Italiano, so you couldn't follow through with that chase. You don't have that mobility up yet on your Alk either. Manta flying out now, but you probably need a blink here to get up in front and follow that pacing that RL and Waking Up will provide you, along with Italiano's run-in. So, gonna need to tie in a few more items for the Alk to really feel comfy. Overall, though, I'm not sure if it's really a big concern to have the Naga get this big. Like, the Scotty's coming out next, that is detrimental to your cause, but again, if you manage to survive through these fights anyway, you have really good illusion clear coming off across the sides for the Ravens, and they might be able to rotate onto Kiritsugu.
They may. Probably the gangster. It's gonna be the first one to spot him. Problem is he doesn't really have the greatest of lockdown on the Lycan. He has no lockdown. Nice route though coming out from Wake Me Up.
Ooh.
Song will be popped to ensure they can try to retreat. There are 5 heroes here from Nexus Titans. So they could think about going for the fight, but instead they will retreat, buy themselves more time. But the Zeus has just casually run in. But he will heavily jump right back out. Ravens, they just take a couple of stacks. That'll be enough for them. They didn't see the opening for a good team fight. Not by the T2 top tower anyway.
A little bit rough committing the shapeshift there from Italiano, so there's a minute opening for the side of Nexus Titans if they do want to come in, but with no Song for a longer cooldown, not the safest bet to try to re-engage.
Desperate. Seeing RL is going to back off. Probably the gangster going to run right into the Naga Siren. Kiritsugu now running into RRL. Baina on the run again. Wake Me Up will jump in. Global Silencer is going to be very, very nice here from Nexus Titans. They'll be able to turn this team fight by the looks of it. So they've got one down. RRL in trouble, is not going to drop yet, but the Spirit Vessel's still going, but he has the pipe. He'll make it out. Barely avoiding the power shot as well. Kara will glimmer. Kara will run. He does have some one charges to boot, so oh, a nice shackle. It's gonna latch. No getting up for him, but here comes Italian Gangster with the wolf form. They jump in. That's one down. That's your Wind Ranger. Nature Lover now. Being caught out. He'll go down. So they do find 2. Still, Nexus Titans seem to be finding the better end of these trades. But at the same time, this has bought a lot of time for this Alchemist to farm up. And well, Argus now about 2k ahead of the Naga. It's finally starting to pull away. See if Ravens can kind of press the advantage.
Yeah, I think this is the scary point for the draft from Ravens. With a blink up on Argus, it does allow him to gap close, keep up the pacing, keep up that with the jumps in that we're seeing from RL and Italiano. You're also scaling up pretty nicely and waking up Desperate.
Yeah, being caught. Stun is going to be the longest duration you could ask for. And he could try for the Heavenly Jump. He'll try for the Ethereal Blade. It's actually buying him a bit of time, but the Radiance is going to burn. This poor old Nature Lover showed up to try and help his core. He's going to die for this. Now, even Kara now chasing down Zor in case he could get it to Crepify. Not going to quite be the case, but they can move on to the bottom tier 2. There's not really much in the way of stopping Ravens at the moment. So that'll be your tier 2 bot tower gone. They are at least trying to trade the mid tier 1. But you've got a Timber in your way. Of all heroes, this is the one guy you probably can't get through for this tier 1 tower. So they will bring in the Naga Illusions. Maybe try to slowly chip away that way. Problem is though, Roshan's now started. So you can take the tier 1 if you want. Ravens, they'll just take Roshan instead.
Yeah, it's not going to take too long for the side of Ravens to clear this out. Especially with a Howl and the Acid Spray coming in. Roshan softens up a fair bit. You are getting a really strong push from Kiritsugu up top though. Tier 2 is going to fall for this one. That's going to be a nice objective to take. Solidifies their position to farm around that area up top. And the Naga is starting to grow big. Scotty fully up for Kiritsugu. So up against the regen on hand from your Alchemist, from literally everyone here inside of Ravens. It's not going to feel amazing, but as long as you can clear out the illusions and clear out the main Naga with RRL, I don't think that's a concern still. You still have ways of handling the wave spam here from Kiritsugu. You will have to start to focus on the Naga a little bit more. It does feel like she is getting away with much more than you'd expect the Naga to. Like now chipping away on the high ground as well for free. No contestation.
No, absolutely not. The tier 3 tower copying a fair bit of damage here from Kiritsugu, and I guess this is why they go for the Naga. Like, it was kind of mentioned during the draft phase, but this hero is excellent at just constantly split pushing the lanes. She is certainly buying her team quite a bit of time in this game number 1. I mean, maybe you could kind of blame Ravens for not being as clean as we usually see them be. You know, that they've kind of been maybe a little bit too overly confident here in this game 1, just kind of running at the side of Nexus Titans and getting taken down quite a few times. But now with the Aegis up, they are going to go for a big smoke. 3-man smoke with a rotation across the map towards the top side. They're going to see the Naga. RRL will realize it is the right one and keep the vision up. Thing is, there is a Song TP available. Meanwhile, mid lane, Zor has also been caught out on the Wind Ranger. They'll try to wind run away, but they've got the control. So Zor will drop. RRL, has he gone too far? It doesn't seem like it. Now the Alchemist is here. Song and Global Silence both committed. TP away should be successful, and it will be. As mid lane, apparently we've lost 3 targets. Well, what the hell happened?
They get run down a little bit. The damage coming out from Desperate's not something you can underestimate. BKB is there for Italiano, it just doesn't pop it. And when you've got the E-Blade plus the nuking potential, you can just run them down. Very focused up top. Your big cores are kind of trying to chase down a Naga without follow-through control. So she bails out. And the side of Titans, again, despite them being behind, they're finding enough trades to stay in the game. Managing to avoid a lot of issues for Kiritsugu. Once the heart is up with that Scotty, that's when things can start to get a little bit more dangerous for Ravens. I think you really want to force the issue onto the Naga. If you can somehow get the jump on top, with the Radiance, you still have no real big concern. Like the evasion, the missed chance is more than enough to make it uncomfy for the Naga in the core. Just that they're not finding that lump up here on the side of Ravens.
Mid lane, RRL still defending that mid tier 1 tower. Nexus Titans, though, feeling very confident now. They'll take down the tier 1 mid. Big itemization on the Zeus. He's got the Octarine core, so those cooldowns substantially shorter. Moving in, the Naga. No Song available for 30, so they do have to be a little bit cautious about how they take this team fight. Wolf Form pop. They're going to try and chase down the Zeus first, but Desperate immediately out with the TP is going to be just fine. Instead, they'll try to go after Kiritsugu. Again, no Song available for another 15 seconds. They do ensnare him up. Rod of Atos out. There's your Boundless Strike as well. It seems like Kiritsugu may have gone a bit too far. The chase still ongoing. They need more damage, though. Chakram's going to land. They've got the Naga. No buyback available. That's a problem. Luckily, they cannot go high ground yet. Like Thaina, still sticking around as they're diving the high ground anyway. Zor gets caught out by the stun of the Alchemist, and it seems like they'll have barely enough. Wake Me Up still going after the Zeus. Desperate might actually just die, but the Chakram's not enough. Oh, had he left it for a split second, it may have done it. And now Zor, a great shackle fighting too, but the life drain. Wake Me Up will survive for another day, but now they're in the minefield sign. Techie's... How do you miss that power?
That's sick.
Hold on a minute. Here they go again. Stun out onto Zor. The Wind Ranger is gone. Onto more they go. Desperate. Trying to run. Boundless Strike is there. That'll be another. Desperate is down. No buybacks available on either core. And suddenly they are just diving. They are still going. My goodness, Argus. He won't even look at nature level when he dies.
Oh, God. The Bloodthorn weren't enough. Thaina.
Bye-bye, Thaina.
All right. That was... well, quite the series of events there, Mike. I didn't realize Thaina rushed the Ags. on techies, which I guess in this game it's not the most it's not the worst thing in the world. You stop the Timbersaw from just chaining around, you stop the chase down. Can be nice. It's just it feels like you have a lot more to worry about right now on the side of Nexus Titans. That kill onto Kiritsugu, pretty much opening that chain of events. No song to save, no counterplay, too durable on the side of Ravens. You need the Scotty hits to come in from Kiritsugu to really prevent them from getting that rundown. Sure, Aegis expires, but they're still applying pressure. All outer towers taken out now for Nexus Titans. So the map is shrinking for everyone but Kiritsugu. So it's only really now your Naga that's left that can still work the map. Everyone else is just kind of stuck in limbo.
Latos's gonna hold him down for a little bit. Oh, they've got desperate though. The Zeus, he'll be okay. They couldn't quite get the arc there in time for the follow-up stun. However, speaking of that arc, they have found it with the Thunder God's Wrath. Chemical Rage up in 10 seconds. Zor not going to survive long enough, I don't think, to see that. Chases on from Italian Gangster. Windrun committed. They're actually going to leave him for a bit to look after Nature Lover. And why not? RL still chasing them down past the tier 3 tower. And it seems like he's going to get out. RL now the one in danger. RRL, Lotus Orb going to save his life for now, but he's been global silenced up, and with the Spirit Vessel out, he's going to drop. Ravens may be having a bit too much fun.
Yeah, definitely having a bit too much there. Biting off more than they can chew, getting punished for the high ground dives. And they do force the buyback from Nature Lover at the least, and they force the usage of the global silence, but for the side of Nexus Titans, I mean, this is the kind of stall out they want. Just want your Naga to hit full critical mass, get into that Bloodtorn, up against the Alk with the evasion. It can be massive to get that control off, although Argus does have the Manta, so it's not really a major concern here for Argus. Already has his BKB as well. Going into full Abyssal now. You've got Italiano working onto his Nullifier. He's got a way of dealing with the E-Blade that Desperate has been using defensively in the middle of these engagements. And for Wake Me Up, and he's got the full Atos and Maelstrom, so you can go for the Gleipnir. Once you have that additional AoE control, these team fights really open up for Ravens. Next, though, that's the one thing they really lack, relying mainly on just...
They got a bit too far here. Argus, I mean, he's by himself, but he's just manning up. BKB TP away is going to prove to be enough, but now RL's moved in.
RL?
There's something's going on here with the Ravens. I mean, I'm not sure if they're talking or not here, John. Maybe they're trying to challenge themselves. RL's still going to survive, though. Wake Me Up was there to save. Maybe it's just a no talk challenge for Ravens here in this series. We go again. Nature Love. Shackle. It's going to land on 2. They just don't have the follow-up damage to them.
It's funny, if you did stay there in Argus, you could have won that fight. I mean, that could have been a fight to take with the damage coming out from Yalk, but and just a little bit back and forth with the decisions here on the side of Ravens. So that does give the Titans room to breathe. They've got the global sounds ready, they've got Song, they'll smoke up now.
Mid lane, Ritsugu. Not going to get jumped. We're going to try and play the bait for the team. Ravens, still just farming the jungle. It looks like Italian Gangster may get caught. Does have the BKB though, so it's kind of hard to lock him down. He will eventually pop it, will form out as well, and now the turnaround up to Thana. He does at least get the Mindfield sign off in time here, Thana, and in fact with the Ghost Scepter, he's going to survive a little bit longer. In fact, he'll make it out. Thana's just fine. Chase still on for RRL. In goes your Alchemist. Argus, though, with the BKB can go for the man fight against the Naga Siren, but there's your Song being committed. But the Naga still being attacked by the BKB now, but eventually the BKB does wear off. Argus cannot stun him in time. The Naga is going to be able to TP freely, but the rest of his team, they can't quite do the same. At least for the Zeus. Desperate is gone.
They managed to bail out at the very least, but not being able to catch Naga once more, Kiritsugu with a Song, is hard to manage. That's still the one saving play that you do have in Nexus Titans, just the retreat with the song. That does allow the stall out here. Still a full BKB now, up for Wake Me Up. So the Monkey King should be able to try to catch out now with the bound. Let's just hold on to that for the song and BKB out. Yeah, Roche being taken once more by the side of Ravens. No contestation here from the side of Nexus Titans. Aegis Cheese available for them to take. And that should allow them the high ground opening that they've been kind of looking for here. As long as they don't overcommit. Cheese been left alone. And they don't go back to pick it up. Okay. No.
Nope.
All right. No. Yeah. Italiano. Yes. Okay. Good.
Well, I have
Some
to.
good cheese. Goes
Don't
very
just
well
keep it
with
in the
some
back.
bolognese sauce.
He's kept it in the backpack, John. He'd rather prefer the Wraith Bands. Or the Wand. Oh, come on now. Put the cheese in the bag.
No. It stays in the pack until you get home and the pasta sauce is ready, Mike.
What?
I need to eat the cheese now.
How is the Wand better than the cheese? How are the
Because
Wraith Bands better than the
doesn't-
cheese?
Well, the Wraith Bands, I could argue, yes, as a universal type, you'd keep that in. The Wand, I mean, you're up against the Zeus, right? You want to get one full Wand charge off, and then swap in
What?
the cheese. I mean, you're not in pertinent danger. You know, once the fight starts, you can swap it in. You're not gonna die in 6 seconds for the most part for Italiano with a BKB up. So you don't need it standing in your active pack for the most part.
You really are reaching for reasons here, John.
I mean, why would you put the cheese in? You're not gonna eat it yet. You're not
What do
gonna
you mean?
randomly eat it in lane, Mike.
Hold on a minute, John. Mid lane, Zor. Rod of Atos out into the Wind Ranger. Another Rod of Atos out. Silencer being caught out here by the Boundless Strike. In comes Italian Gangster. That's one being destroyed. That's a second being destroyed. Zor going down. There's your song being committed here by Naga Siren. Now without the song up, things can get rather difficult as they do commit the Rod of Atos again onto the Naga. Rather than being snared with the Lotus Orb was there. Slower siege. In goes Argus. He does have the BKB, so he's feeling confident. Now T3 tower at least should drop, but Chemical Rage will wear out. Wukong's command down onto the Naga Siren. Looks like they have found at least Kiritsugu. That's the big target they really wanted. Kiritsugu is still running though. Thana jumps in to sacrifice his own life. Will go down. Gets the minefield down as well. And it seems like it's actually doing quite a bit of work here. The shackle shot onto 2 is out from Zor. Argus somehow still alive, still able to get out with the Chemical Rage, as now the turnaround is there once again. Zor being Atos up. Jump in is there. Zor is down. Looks like Thana should go down as well. Though Argus will not dive any longer, so maybe not. In fact, Argus, but he's taken through all this damage. Keep in mind, he still has a secondary life. They have not dealt with the first one so far. So there it goes. He's finally down, but Zor has also died back. It's RRL now. Thana being stunned up. Nature Lover's gone. There's your Midrax. Finally going down here between these two. Do they want to keep going? They need a creep wave.
Yeah.
We go again. They'll get rid of Thana. No buyback on him either. Nullify now out. Onto the Zeus. So desperate. Trying to get out desperately, but is not going to be able to get it done. Onto the Naga Siren. Final target to take down Kiritsugu. At least we'll find Kara before he does go down. But that's about it. No buyback available. It may as well be a GG call to come out, and there you go. Thana's called it. Game 1 will go the way of Ravens. Nexus Titans sadly unable to find a victory here in Game 1. Though a nice attempt, at least. The game does last 38 minutes.